perspective. No matter your race, no matter your age. On my perspective. Don't even worry about your fear. Come on and bring your thoughts right here. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Let's bring our thoughts together. Set and welcome to another My Perspective Mondays. We got another hot topic here tonight. We're going to be talking about zodiac signs when you deal with people. Okay, that's what's interesting tonight. We're going to start off with honor. Okay, see if you can give us some background about the zodiac signs. All right.
All righty. So the definition of, let's start with the astrology here, is the study of movements and related positions on celestial bodies interpreted as having an influence on human affairs and the natural world. So basically, when we talk about astrology, we're going to talk about our compatibility. So I'm a Leo, so I'm most compatible with fire signs. So that's like Aries, Sagittarius, and Gemini. I wouldn't say that I'm compatible with another Leo because two fire signs, Leo trait is very much like that big-headed, very proud energy. So when you get two Leos in a room, it's like, who's the alpha? So like that can be a very hit or miss type of combination. So it can be kind of interesting. And depending on whether we're dealing with a female Leo or a male Leo, you'll really see what the difference between those two genders, the gender roles play a lot in the zodiac sign as well, because you can get something completely different from either male or female.
That's very interesting. So have you used what you know in your life? Have you used it at all? Have you put it to practice?
I use it in the sense of knowing that when I meet somebody and they tell me that they are either an Aries or a Sagittarius, I already know off the bat that we're going to get along. But I also ask them, it's very important because you're not just basically me being a Leo and some of you others, that's pretty much your sun signs, your basic rundown of who you are as a person and how you operate. But you have multiple signs within you. So you have your moon sign, and there's a whole natal chart of the different planets that go into play of like just your makeup of how you react to things and why you may be so emotional here, or why you may react in this way. Or this is why you're so motivated to do certain things to make finances happen for yourself. Like there's a lot that goes behind that. So it really depends on what you are made up of.
Interesting.
Yes.
What about you, Jackson?
Yeah, can I dive into a real quick question with that, Honor?
What's up?
How does it work when you see two sun signs that aren't possibly compatible together?
Two sun signs that aren't possibly compatible together. So like, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like Virgo is an earth sign, and that can either, I know for a fire sign, it has like if out of 5 stars, that would probably be like a 3-star match. Your highest match as a Virgo is a Pisces and a Capricorn.
I've also seen people say Cancer is a high match as well.
Like I said, you got to look at their full natal chart. So if you run down just because they might be like their sun sign might be Virgo and their sun sign might be Capricorn, if they have a moon that is the complete opposite of what that compatibility is, then there'll be a Virgo on the outside, but like on the other side of things, like when the sun goes down and the moon comes up, now they have these emotional tendencies that you don't care for, or it's just too much for you to handle, because Cancers are usually very sensitive.
So that would explain why it's such a blind side to you whenever you hear somebody's sun sign, but they seem to harmonize so perfectly.
Right.
What about you, T.O.? What about you? What's your experience with the zodiac signs?
You know, I really don't. Actually, the funny thing is, I do, like when I meet somebody, like that's normally not the first thing. I know a lot of people ask that right off the bat, like what sign so I usually wait to like way down the like right that's like so I'll go back and do my own research. I'll go back and like look it up and just to see if we're compatible. Like, and maybe this is like crazy, but I would go back and look and see what a lot of their traits are, and then see if it it matches with me, just to even see if I want to move forward with the person. But
This is really interesting. What about you, Henry? Please express what is your experience with zodiac signs? How do you apply it to your life?
I don't. Absolutely nothing. I don't know nothing about it. And if someone would talk to me about it, I'm like, oh, okay, okay, okay. But in my head, but I don't know shit. But all right, all right. I'm Aquarius. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then fuck. Like shake hands and goodbye. And if you ask me if I would date any other thing, I'll just be like, as long as you're a good person and not Asian, I'll be like, yeah, man, let's go.
Just
But
from a
no.
standpoint, I'd love to tell people right now, Aquarius is an air sign, as very often as people like to believe that it's a water sign. Henry's attitude is literally just go with the breeze.
Thank you.
I think
I
it's.
don't
Go
know
ahead.
how that is, but yeah, I never really bother with it per se. And then if someone's really about it, I'm not gonna tell you, otherwise, if you really believe it, cool, that's your problem. But I don't.
Well,
I just look at as long as you're good people, you're good people.
there you go. Isn't it like stereotyping people? Honor? Isn't it like just stereotyping someone without
No,
you
so
getting to know them?
let's to summarize what he just said, because I have a little Zodiac book. So as you're talking, I'm just reading through and like about to drop some gems here. So he basically just said that he really doesn't pay attention to it at all. But he's like, I take me as I am. If we get along, we get along. If we don't, cool. So in this book about an Aquarius man, it just says he wants companionship, but not at the expense of his individuality, which is exactly what he just said. Said like
No
everything is
way.
in the book, and that's why I'm always saying it's very important for you to understand not necessarily just your sun sign as an Aquarius, but your whole breakdown, because you can find out who you're compatible with, not just necessarily in a romantic sense, but as friendships. A lot of people, you may have friends that you're a friend to, but they're not a friend to you back. That they can call on you for
Definitely.
anything. They can call on you for anything. You'll be there for them, but you can't have that reciprocated in the fact for them to be there for you if you needed something. So that's a lot of something to look at as the zodiac signs as well. I think a lot of people, they'll meet individuals and right off the bat, there'll be an interesting vibe that's like, well, all I did was meet this person and they don't like me. Like, what's up with that? That might be the water fire sign, type of combination, because water signs don't necessarily get along with fire signs. My grandmother is a Cancer. We don't have the best relationship. I love and respect my grandma, but like we don't have. It's really like high and by. You need anything from the grocery store, I take you to your doctor's appointment, but like we don't have like that bond. My older brother, he's a Cancer as well. A Cancer and a Cancer, they go together pretty well, because what happens when water comes together, it grows, like it expands. So like fire and water, it's just incompatible. So you just have to look at certain things like that.
But
What's up,
couldn't you put that on something else other than the sign? Maybe it's just
you could, but like when certain disagreements happen or certain arguments happen, and then you look up directly what is the correlation between why a fire sign, a Leo, and a Cancer doesn't get along, everything that you basically are arguing about is telling you right here in the book, oh, before you even have the argument, y'all are not going to agree on such and such and such and such. And then it's just like, oh, well, I could have avoided this argument just by keeping my mouth closed and not saying this, because I know that this person is going to be provoked in this way, and I know that I'm not going to like this. So instead of always being on the defensive, it's just like, yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, that don't really have to do any sign. It's just that there's two kind of people. Is no matter what kind of factual thing that you show, they will still be in their own world. Like you cannot tell flat Earth people the Earth is round. You can't, because they, like
Right.
you can say whatever sign they are, but
I have a follow-up from what said, as well as what Henry said, because this whole thing is a belief. If you put your faith in it, you put your faith in it. However, you can't force somebody to believe what you believe. However, honor, off of that one standpoint, what about upbringing? So, say a Cancer is brought up by a Leo. Doesn't that play into something? Because I know I'm a Virgo, but I was raised by a Sagittarius, so I'm fiery and hot-headed.
Right. A Virgo and a Sagittarius are a very strong compatibility. I'll hear a lot of people say that, Jay-Z is actually a Sagittarius and Beyonce is a Virgo. That's a very high compatibility despite what happens in their personal life. Like, that's very strong for them.
Lemonade album.
Where was I going with that? I think that what you were just saying, you were raised by somebody else. You always hear the saying, like, it takes a village. So, like, maybe your mom is not the best person, or your parent, whoever your parent is, who's responsible for you, isn't the best person at talking to you for certain things, or y'all clash heads. But every time your certain uncle comes around and that person might be more compatible with you, y'all have a better relationship, and he's very intricate in raising you as well because you listen to him. You take advice better from that person because y'all are compatible. I do believe that when you have respect for somebody, that sometimes that can be, I wouldn't say eradicated, but when you have respect for somebody, you'll hold your tongue better. Yeah, because there's certain things that you won't say because you respect that individual, even though that you don't agree. But it still goes back into that whole just revolving of the motions.
I think this is very interesting. I'm not into the zodiac signs. I will say that. If you really want to know my sign, according to the chart, I'm a Capricorn. Now, my ex-husband was he's a Sagittarius, and notice I say my ex, so we did not get along. But according to the chart, we supposed to get along. Now, my current husband is also a Sagittarius, and we get along. So I'm just saying, I'm not about the zodiac chart and this. I feel in my heart that it's to me it's an easy way. It's an easy way to get to know someone when you just got to put the work in.
Right.
I don't think you should just okay, what the charts say for today. Okay. I can't get along with you. That's it. No.
Nah.
I think you need to put the work in and see whether or not you can get along.
Honey,
I believe
do you
that
know?
as well. Go
Do
ahead,
you know
Henry.
how hard it is to be an Asian on that part? One thing is I have to persuade that we are compatible in your zodiac sign. Other than that, they have to be like, what about the Chinese, the animal, the zodiac sign, right? And I'm like, oh fuck, okay, that's another thing I have to overcome.
That's
Like,
you
okay,
no.
okay,
See,
so
that's a
what
whole
are
different
you? I'm a
spectrum.
dog, and then I'm a rabbit, right? And then she'll say something. Oh no, we might be compatible in the moon sign, but no animal sign. And I'd be like, oh okay, wow, okay.
It's my perspective. Yeah, from my perspective. It's my perspective. Yeah, yo, am I wrong or is it just you? Or did my life show me some things that gave me my view? And if I went through what you
Henry, that was funny what you were just saying, how in one sign you might be compatible in one chart, and in the other chart you may not be. So that's a little confusing.
Yeah, I mean, have you guys dated an Asian and they started bringing out all the animals, the 12 animals, Oh my
I don't have
god,
personal
man.
experience. No.
It's funny. It's funny you said you're not into the zodiac signs, but you seem like you attracted to Sagittarius.
That's
I don't
kind of
even know what
interesting,
that
isn't it?
is.
So
But
Aquarius is like really big. They're compatible with Leos. They're compatible with Libras. They're compatible with the fire sign because the polar opposite of Aquarius is a Leo. So they basically they operate as an Aquarius, but they have the same. I could basically say they're a shy Leo. A Leo is very proud and very bold and very outgoing, center of attention, and they're that, but behind closed doors.
interesting. But
And like
I was just basically saying, if I was to take my go for as far as relationships, if I was to base my relationships on my sign and everything, then I probably would have stopped at the Sagittarius, saying, well, it should work for every Sagittarius, but it didn't. So I'm saying a lot of times you just have to get to know people. You can't always base your life on charts. You
Not
can
Right.
base
based
it on
on
charts, but
charts.
people are fun. People,
That's
they're
why I
not
said you have
always
to
like
look
that.
at the full natal chart. You can't just look at their sun sign because your husband might be a Sagittarius, but his moon might be in Pisces. His moon might be in Virgo. So
Hmm.
like that's why y'all get along right there.
Go get
So
his birth certificate. We need his
there's
birth time.
actually an app. There's an app called CoStar, and if you download it, it will ask you for your birth date, the birth month, the birth year, and if you know the time that you were born, it will pull up your full natal chart and tell you all about yourself, and you can tell me whether or not that's accurate. There's another app called The Pattern, and it will basically match you with other people of different signs and say this is a friendship that's very chill. This is a friendship that is golden. This is a soulmate relationship, which is to tap into that a little bit. When you hear the word soulmate, I think a lot of people's minds go straight to romantic, but that could just be a strong friendship from a different lifetime. A family bond from a different lifetime. So that's another intricate part of that as well.
Can
You
we
said
also
that app was called CoStar?
CoStar, yes, sir.
Yeah,
there's
I got it.
co-star,
Look it.
then he said
You got it?
the first one.
No, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Personally, I use Nebula. I like them.
Okay, I've not heard of that one. What does it tell you about yourself? Do you think it's accurate or no?
It's very accurate and spot on in some of the details. It even gave me my ascendant sign as well as my moon sign and my polarity. I can even pull up some of the stuff with other zodiac signs to see whether or not we'll be good friends, whether or not we work well together, whether or not we get a relationship, all of that.
Exactly.
That's
That's
crazy.
some complicated stuff. What you know? What I see what you're saying, but why not just get to know the people? What if you got to me? It's a lazy way out. To me, it's a lazy way out of actually getting to know people.
Yeah.
Why you got to go look it up, and figure it out and search it up and just search the person, get to know the person.
Yeah.
You're trying to take the easy way out,
Absolutely.
and sometimes all of that is not accurate.
Know what you getting into?
Yeah.
I'm not-
Before
yeah, 'cause I'm
before
not
you
gonna have
ask me
my-
what I am, let's go take a shot, and then see where that goes.
Before, I always tell people, before you even introduce yourself to have a conversation with me, let's say I don't know you, your energy will speak for you before you even open your mouth. So if the vibe is not right, I've taken a long time to very much just be with myself and work on myself, have a relationship with myself. So if I feel for any moment that it's just very dry conversation, not that you're a bad person, just like we're not compatible. So like I will see you in passing and be like, hey, how you doing? You have a good evening. And that's it. Like we don't have to be fake. We don't have to be phony and force it when it doesn't need to be.
That is
There's a
so
quote
true.
that I like to
I can
use with
definitely
that.
relate to that. Can
There's a-
anybody else relate to that?
I do.
Oh yeah.
There's a
That's
quote I like to
big.
use with that because light travels faster than sound, which is why you look bright until you open your mouth.
That's powerful.
No, that
I
was
mean, I can definitely pick up off some there's some trifling people you can actually be around that's downright trifling. I agree with you on about that negative energy. I mean, you can tell when somebody like, how you doing? I mean, like, hey, bye. I mean, whatever. I mean, I don't want to be bothered with it. I can agree with that, but I don't necessarily do the sign to find out. I just go ahead and pick up on it. You see what I'm saying? I pick up, you nasty. You kind of nasty. I can be nasty too, but when you got that bad energy, I'm saying, no, I don't want to be around you. But hey, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
I'm right there.
Now I talked about a time when hi Melvin, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you.
What? I'm kind of.
The camera's right here.
Can you guys hear me?
We
Yeah.
can hear you clear.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of annoyed because I wanted to be here for this topic, and of course I'm traveling, and so I'm listening and watching you guys on YouTube, and I knew I wasn't going to make it to final thoughts, but what everybody's saying can be useful, which is how I've been taught and learned. Because I used to be heavily into astrology, moon sign, sun sign, planet sign, retrograde. Like I used to know everything, and then I remember running into people I'm not supposed to get along with, and it's like, oh, this is like my best friend. And I ran into people I was supposed to like, and I'm supposed to be comfortable with, and I'm like, I can't stand you. But I think what Honor's saying for a gist is you don't have to be totally 100%. The horoscope is everything, but it can explain a lot of the person's mentality and behavior. I think, and what Jay said of upbringing helps too. A Sagittarius born in New York, raised in New York, may act differently than a Sagittarius born in Oklahoma. And so there's a lot of factors, but that horoscope can explain a lot. Maybe the reason why you didn't get along with that first Sagittarius is because a lot of things that Sagittarius comes with, but you might get along with that second one because of upbringing. The only thing I'm against is when you use your horoscope to explain your terrible behavior that you shouldn't have.
No.
And so I used to love those signs that says it's not because you're a Sagittarius, Adam. It's because you're an asshole.
100%.
Sagittarius have
I'm
they're-
such a Pisces.
You say what?
I ran you over with my car. Oh no, I'm such a Pisces.
I'm crying. No. Sagittarius are known for their brutal mouth, like the brutal honesty. And depending on what you're dealing with, like a male Sagittarius or female Sagittarius, a male Sagittarius will be completely honest with you, but they'll also be very petty with it. And that's where you draw the line of crossing that boundary, because you can be honest, but you don't have to be disrespectful.
That's what I'm saying. I've met Sagittarius that were the opposite, but it's more the norm of what you're saying. And the reason why I brought up the outliers is I don't like when people, like I used to do this. When people used to ask me my sign, I used to tell them the wrong sign. And months would go by and they would judge me off that sign and go, you're such a Pisces, or you're such a, and I'm like, I'm nowhere near that sign. And because sometimes it can be the placebo effect to where you've already made up your mind that I'm a jerk because I'm a Sagittarius, and I might be one of the most humble, honest people you've ever met, but you've based it off of my horoscope because you're so into it, and now it's wrong. Because I used to do that all the time. Just give them the wrong sign and let them run with it.
What is your sign, John?
I am an Aries.
See, another fire sign. That's why we get along.
I'm lying. I just had a birthday last week. See, I'm a Gemini.
He's a Gemini.
See, but you're still a fire sign, though, sir. You're still a fire sign.
I know. Honor, like I said, I'm not discounting anything you said. I was just I wanted to come into the point because I've met people who totally judge you on your sign and miss the mark because they don't attribute the other factors, like what's your life situation been? Who raised you? Who did that? You can be a sign that's the most humble person in the world, but you were raised by two assholes and now you're.
I believe that as well. That has a lot to do with it as well.
I want to do airport. I just want to jump in on you guys.
We have to do a follow-up episode with everybody knowing their full natal chart and how compatible they are with the other person. I want everybody to know their full natal chart and just figure out how accurate it was to their life.
No, do not tell me. If you tell me that, I'll be going now asking every girl, hey, are you that? Are you that? No? Okay, fuck off. No, are you that? Are you that? No. Don't tell me. I would rather not know. Don't tell me, please.
Off of that one line about the Sagittarii, though, Honor, I had to sit up here and mean mug my mom because her mouth is ruthless.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like it can be.
Yeah. What about it?
It can be. I'm a Leo, so a Sagittarius is one of my favorite people in the world. But they I will say that their mouth will get pretty like, oh, okay, all right. And I know as a Leo, I'm getting up. as a lion in the Zodiac sign, I am very much so. You can give it to me, but I'll give it back to you tenfold. So I have to be very conservative of making sure that I'm giving you like baby Simba energy and not just giving you Mufasa or giving you a Scar, because like that will get very dangerous for you really quickly. So, yeah. But I really like what John was saying about like your upbringing, because although I am a Leo, I just said, I very much give off that baby Simba energy, even as a grown man, as an adult, because I don't want to come off as doing the most. or feeling self-centered and making somebody else feel like I don't care about them or I'm just larger than life.
Yeah, because it's almost like you're prejudging the
Tito.
person. It's like you're prejudging them. When you see
Yeah.
someone, okay, what's your sign?
Yeah.
I can definitely see what Melvin's saying. I remember I used to work on a job years ago, and dealing with patients, mental patients, seemed like when there was a full moon, their behavior would become worse. So
Mm.
I know there's some truth to it. I just don't think you should base I don't think you should base, everyone's demeanor on a chart. You need to get in there, get your butt on in there and get to know them, find out for yourself. I know you might use it as a blueprint, maybe a starting point, but
Right.
you should not, I don't think you should go by that. I think it's a lazy way out of getting to know people. What you think?
Yeah, that's
It goes hand in
100%.
hand.
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
It goes
it's
hand in hand.
it's better to be friends with the guy, and then you find out what he is, and then you be like, oh, that's why we
That's
click.
why. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
a lot
sure.
better
That's how it
feeling, right?
happens. That's how
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. Like I will never just be like, oh, this Ash like as soon as we meet, what's your sign? Or
Right.
and then make my decision up on that. I'm just like, but if you tell me what your sign is, I will look it up and be like, okay, so I will wait for them to prove me wrong or prove me right. Okay. And what I've found out about who they're supposed to be. And I'll be like, oh, well, this person doesn't act like that. So I'm not just gonna be like, oh, this person's a Cancer, so we can't be friends because again, they might be a Cancer, but their moon sign is in Gemini, which is compatible with my Leo. So I'm just like, you know what? You might be sensitive, but we also have a compatibility somewhere else. We have something else in common somewhere else that will pretty much outweigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, I
Now
actually
we
do what Henry do. Like I meet somebody, like whether it's a guy or a woman or whatever, and as we become friends, or and you start learning about a person, then if it comes up, I'm like, well, why does she do? Okay, this, and then I'll go back and look and be like, oh, okay, this is why she likes to do this, or he likes to do this, or I found out that about like a lot of my other creative friends. I found out what their sign was, and it kind of made sense because it was being a creative or whatever was like part of their sign. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why she's into that. So
Well,
it's
that this is good, Tio, because there was someone in the chat also said that they agree with the Aquarius
I
information that
saw
was
that.
given out, and
Yeah.
then they also said, I think it was Ken. He said
Yeah.
that, but it's never an
Absolute.
absolute. So
Right.
that's about what we're talking about right now. It's not always an absolute. So but I hey, you need to put some work in there. I mean, because sometimes relationships and friends, if you don't show yourself friendly, you ain't gonna get no friend nowhere. You're just gonna be
Yep.
sitting out there by your lonely self. You ain't gonna have no friend if you don't show yourself friendly. If you all this, that, and the other, then then you ain't gonna have any friends.
Right. Can we
Jackson.
also talk about the fact that people have started to pick up on the fact that now people are getting very interested in zodiac signs? You can't just walk up to somebody and be like, oh, what's your sign? You got to discreetly ask them, oh, when's your birthday? Something.
Right.
Nah,
Right.
that's the easy way out. To me, that's easy. That's
Yeah.
easy. Get a chance, jump on in there and get to know the person. And just like Melvin said, I should just give you the wrong one so you can figure it out for yourself. So you get do some extra homework.
But I'm big on vibes and energy anyway, like we were saying earlier.
Right.
Like I'm super big on vibes and energy because that's the main thing. Like if I can't be around you, it don't matter what sign you are. Like if we can't, hang out, or if your energy isn't, like you say, positive, and you got a bunch of negative, and like I'm not even gonna make it to the point to where I even find out what your sign is in the, to begin with, because
Right.
your
I agree
energy.
with that so much because that's a part of me being a Virgo. I stay in my shell up until I get to know the people, and then I become a social butterfly. As soon as I walk into a room full of new people that I don't know, they're always like, "Oh my gosh, you're so quiet. Are you shy?" Nah, I'm reading, y'all. Give me a minute.
Exactly.
You got to put the glasses on so I can. Yeah, I mean, because I remember I had met this friend one time, and I definitely picked up on some bad energy, especially when they start saying like I know what foot or leg that you put the most pressure. I'm saying like okay, nice knowing you. Nice knowing you. I'm out of here.
I just remembered I
Because
had a
you're
friend.
weird. Okay,
You're
you're
weird.
I don't have time for that. Why did I bring that up?
That's some
This is
creepy
safe
shit.
space.
It was talking about energy. I mean,
Yeah.
this bad energy there. I don't
Yeah.
have nothing to do with that. Woo! Got away. Got away. But yeah, but you know what? I can definitely see what Honor is saying, that there can be some something that you can use within the zodiac. But
And what about it?
what'd you say, Jay?
Somebody in the comments said I'm an asshole. Okay, and what about it? We either gonna vibe
Wow.
together or we not gonna
That
vibe.
wasn't somebody. That was John.
That was John.
Oh
I
my
wasn't going to say any names, but he knows who he is.
Like I said, shake it off.
Yeah.
wow. You
Yeah.
know what? This has really been good. You know what? Do anybody got any closing remarks here? Can we just
I
wrap up?
want us to do the
Final
homework
thoughts?
assignment of downloading the app and learning more about ourselves and
I
coming
already
back.
said watch
Yeah.
out. You better read
I am
that.
gonna do
No. No.
You say no.
I'm sorry.
Come on, Henry.
Henry, go first with some final thoughts for us.
Final thoughts. I mean, don't worry about those signs or animals too much. Roll the dice. Have a shot or two with the guy or the girl, and shit, you will find out if you're compatible or not. If you can't do the third shot, no.
All right. What about you, T.O.?
I will say this, guys. It's a little bit of a cheat code, but guys, sometimes we peek at the zodiac sign to see if it's a little hint we can gain. See if it's
Women
something
too?
see if we can find out about them. Maybe it'll kind of help us. That's that's cheating a little bit, but we do it. But like you say, it can't be the be all end all. Like you say, be big on vibes and energy, and then you want to find that out. That's cool to get to know them. And that way y'all can have fun with it. But if the energy bad, it's gonna be bad anyway. It ain't gonna matter what they are.
All right, Jackson.
100%.
When you get down to it, if you know yourself, you know how you interact with people. And if you can understand how some people will interact with you, you can also pick up on whether or not you're going to want to build a friendship with that person. I know I can be blunt. I know I can be rude. I know I can be cutthroat, but I can also be very sweet if you can get past all of that. However, John, my mom said that she'll be waiting for you in the parking lot at 3:00.
Honor.
Well, to piggyback off what Tito was saying, like, you have a background check here. And although I know that I can look at the background check and look at your history, I'm also, like I said earlier, I'm going to give you a chance to prove me wrong and not base it solely off of this. But the second I start seeing traits in your background check come up, I'm going to slowly distance myself or effective immediately.
I can't stand Scorpios.
Wow. You know what? I just say, you know what? Hey, get to know people. Get to know people for who they are.
Mhm.
And you can't always base it on a chart. And all this, that, and other. All best friends are Virgo. All this, that, and other. You can't always base it on that. So not scared of her. Okay. Rest in peace.
You want white or red roses at your funeral?
Woo! But look, you got to get to know the person. Get on out there and know them for yourself. You can't always base it on charts, Don't always take the easy way out because everybody does not fit the same scenario. But you know what? Thanks so much for listening in on My Perspective Mondays. Don't forget to check out My Perspective Friday. That's coming up. And you know what? We hope to see you back again. Please don't forget to subscribe for a chance to win some money. Come back again on Monday. We're going to do it all over again. Y'all ready? We're going to do it all over again. Peace out.
Hey.